if I do.
Covino and Rich.
Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Heard all about on the radio.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. It's the show.
Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Yeah! We're live. Doing the show. Covino and Rich. Spotty Bull.
Hi.
Ready for some action? Let's go.
Let's go.
We're going to do a show today. We'll have fun. Covino. There's an update. We'll give you the Covino update. We'll go over some headlines, some sports, entertainment, life, a little of everything on a Monday morning. We had to be with you, all right? I mean, what are we going to do? Not hang with you guys?
I was ready to stay in bed.
Yeah, Spot was ready to stay in bed. I said, no, the show goes on. We have people to satisfy and tickle their taint. And we're going to do that right now. How about them 49ers? They are fucking terrible. Sam Sanchez. Thanks for being the first person to rub it in. God awful. Let's go, Bleacher Bum. Ricardo. Jen Brown.
Dumbass.
Lisa. Who else should I say hi to? Who's checking in early?
Lisa Paraggio.
Lisa Paraggio.
Sam Sanchez. He's my dude. Great memes, that guy.
Kinky Blender. Cubs fan. Mike Hapner. What's happening? Jonesy. 49ers stinking like Abe Lincoln. Because you know that motherfucker stunk. It was the 1800s. You think Abe Lincoln was showering the way we do? Abe Lincoln was probably a smelly...
No, didn't like wealthy people get baths with like rose petals in them? Or is that just women in the
Are you
like,
thinking of
the
are you
1700s?
thinking of what do we watch with Batiatus and all that shit? What was that?
Spartacus.
Spartacus. They would wipe their ass with a stick.
No, I feel
and
like-
they showered in rainwater with fucking flower leaves.
No, like in the
Flower
1700s,
petals.
like wealthy women would get baths filled with rose petals. That's how it would be like perfumed.
Bree say we're looking great today. Bree, you're looking great today. Congratulations to Bree,
Congratulations.
who
to
is
Bree and
now
Wes.
she's engaged to Wes in Idaho, who's Wes in Vegas. So
How do you get a ring big enough to fit around them cakes? That's what I'm saying.
oh my god,
Because he put a ring on those cakes.
yeah, it's so weird. People don't realize this. Bree didn't get a conventional ring on the ring finger. Wes put a big diamond fucking circle around that ass.
He did. He studded that ass with some diamonds. That hole.
Don't disrespect Abe Lincoln like that. I'm telling you, motherfucker stunk. I think about that all the time, even with our grandparents' generation. They just didn't shower and bathe the way we do. I think they embraced their stank, right? They only took baths once a month back then.
I believe that.
If I don't shower for 2 days, you start to almost like your own scent. Like you know when you're feeling the sickies, as Sarah says to Emmy, when you're feeling the sickies, after 2 days you're like, yeah, I sort of enjoy my sick funk.
You know, it's interesting. Over the past 2 weeks, I showered more over the past 2 weeks than I have probably in the past 2 months.
I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer in anytime I'm sick. I'm not just saying COVID. I'm saying a cold, a cough, congestion. I feel like multiple showers helps you. I really do. I feel like it clears your shit up. You get that nice little heat, then a cool down.
Well, I mean, because I was coming here, I wanted to clean off the daily funk because I just felt like I was covered in COVID.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro.
So
I hear you. Well, I'm glad Spot and I both.
But now I can go back to not showering anymore.
We've both tested negative, which means Spot stopped showering.
Thanks for giving away my nugget. I tested negative. I got tested on Saturday, and the results came back negative, which I was surprised because they said you could test positive for up to 3 months after you get it. And even when I went in to test, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm here. Well, they're like, multiple people said to me, the CDC does not recommend that you get tested. I'm like, so I asked, after the third time, I'm like, how do people come and get tested to go back to work? Because I feel like everyone always comes in and gets tested
depending on your
to go back to society. So are they not able to test?
Well, depending on the organization you work for, Aaron Rodgers was telling me about the NFL protocol. And depending on where you work, you could go back within 10 days if you bring a PCR test. In the NFL and other organizations that have, I guess, a lot of money on the line.
I got a PCR test.
If you are,
I wonder how much that's going to set me back.
if you are positive, but then test negative 2 times in a row, the NFL will let you play that week. If you're asymptomatic,
like for
Sirius XM, I was supposed to host a sit down with the band One Republic. And I know Ryan Tedder's devastated that he didn't get to hang with me.
That's what I heard.
But I was definitely in the negative window while that event happened. But SiriusXM has like a play it safe 2-week policy. Same reason you and I weren't at Fox Sports last night. We did the show from here because they said, yeah, just for safety, just do it 1 more week from home.
Yeah. Viral shedding's a thing.
Yeah. Your most viral
Two.
shedding is in the first 5 to 7 days.
What was I saying? What was I going to say? Oh, for yoga, it had to either be negative tests or 10 days after testing positive with 3 days of no symptoms.
Yeah. So it's usually 10 days, a week and a half, right? Week and a half.
But what does that mean? But what? Like I understand. I don't know what no symptoms means because I still have.
As an adult, you're like congested every morning. It's like when a kid is sick every day.
Symptom. Like I still can't smell. Although I feel things peeking through every so often. I still can't smell. My taste is very dulled, and I have shortness of breath. So those are symptoms of COVID. Am I am I supposed to wait 3 months for those to go away?
Don't come in to the office ever again. Well, anyway, we have a lot to get to today. Right out the gate, let's just say that I believe, as far as I know, Covino is now home, right?
He's home.
He's home, and Covino is back on the show tomorrow?
He said.
What he said.
Yeah, he'll be patching in remotely, probably for this week, and then you go away. You go to Texas, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
So you'll both be. So everyone will be remote for like the. So I feel like he'll just be working from home for a while.
Yeah, I just don't know when. I just don't know when I'm going to Texas, and I'll explain. I have a story.
Can't wait.
I have a story. So yeah, Covino's home. He was trying to do the Fox show last night. And by the way, the Fox show was great last night. The iHeartRadio app, you could check last night's Fox Football Sunday Fun Day. He was on the fence yesterday. Covino was like, if I get out in time, I'll do the Fox show from home. And they took a long time checking him out of the hospital. So I think he just missed Fox by a minute.
I mean, he might want to talk about it, but I can give you a brief analysis of the Shinfo. I'm pretty sure they wanted to send him home with oxygen because his oxygen levels have been kind of low. And rather than just have him sit in the hospital on O2, they can just send you home with a tank. But to get it, there's a whole process to do that. It has to be cleared with insurance. It was a Sunday.
Can he just go to a scuba store?
Probably. It was a Sunday. So
No, not the scuba store. That's not the shortcut. I'm just going to go to the scuba store.
Scuba Steve.
Check me out of the hospital right now. I will go to the scuba store.
He's Scuba Steve. So that, and like Sunday, no one's working, Sunday night. So it probably was just a long, lengthy process to get him out of there. Discharging sometimes is not easy. That's why they try not to keep you over the weekend. I think for that very reason, because discharging somebody on a weekend is a little bit more difficult.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Breaking news. This is from Wes in Idaho regarding President Biden. He goes, if Biden forces the vax, if the forced vax is allowed to occur after the first of the year, be prepared for a FedEx and I'm guessing UPS meltdown. Thousands of couriers and pilots will not be working. Ooh. That's why a lot of people are saying right now, not because of COVID, a lot of people are saying, have you heard someone say, do your Christmas shopping now? Like, it sounds ridiculous, but do it. Just tuck that shit away. Adults, who gives a shit? I'm not one that's big on Christmas for adults, but if you have little kids, you don't want to be like, hey, you didn't get any presents this year. If there's something on the radar for the kids, order it now and just tuck it away because you might have major delays for Christmas presents. Just saying. Scuba Steve. Let's see. Thousands of healthcare teachers, emergency workers are already unemployed here in New York. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy time we're living in.
Crazy time.
But Spot, I know where you said we're going to do a fun little shorter show today, and then get ready.
We'll do a quick little how do you do.
Get ready for Cove's return tomorrow. Jonesy said he's already got Christmas shopping knocked out.
I don't understand that. Like I went for a walk yesterday because I can't go to the gym yet, and walked by the mall. There's a line of cars just trying to get in the mall. The mall was packed yesterday.
Oh, people are.
Assume
Women,
everyone's
it's probably
doing their
women. You know why? Because women be shopping.
Women be shopping. So I assume everyone is starting their shopping. That's why I love Kristen and I don't really do gifts. It's fantastic. She buys herself something and I'm just like, that's great. I'm like, I have everything I need. I don't need it. And we're good.
I'm with you. I think
so great. It's so great
you and
not
I,
having kids.
You and I are so wrong about this, but you know how a lot of times in the past, Covino and I would have the same opinion on something as far as dating. We were both wrong, but because we were influencing each other, we're like, oh yeah, sure. That's fine. That's legit. It's like a drug addict hanging out with another drug addict. You're affirming each other's shitty behavior.
You guys are the worst at that.
You and I are doing that right now. Not exchanging presents with your significant other because, it's just easy. That's like a recipe for that's shitty.
You need to be on the same page.
Yeah, but I just think it's shitty.
You can't just assume, we don't need to give gifts this year. I'm not going to get my wife a gift and then she gets you something. Yeah, you can't.
No, but I think a lot of people.
We discuss it like adults and we say, she's like, I don't want anything. I got this. She belongs to that FabFitFun service. I'm sure some girls know about it. I'm sure you've heard about it. Influencers love it. But she belongs to that, and that her winter box is her Christmas present. She gets it, puts it under the tree, and then she opens it on Christmas morning.
Perfect time to say Christmas gifts, you say.
Oh.
How about a Covino Rich pint glass? Or maybe even better, a Covino Rich coffee mug.
Shop.covinoandrich.com. New designs coming out this week. Hopefully.
Perfect.
So
2021, the year of the gift cards. People are saying up in Canada, people are shopping. Women be shopping. When wives say don't get them anything for Christmas, most of the time it's a trap. But with Spot, I could vouch that him and his wife are just like, whatever. Because you know why? You get to an age, and back me up if I'm wrong here. You get to an age where you're a grown-up. You don't desire anything because if you want it, you'll get it. And that's not privilege talk. That's just adult talk. That's like, Spot, if you really wanted, what did you just buy yourself? You're building a computer. The show kind of half built that computer. Yeah, but I'm saying whatever you want.
You took mine, so I need to buy a new one.
If you wanted some type of gadget or toy or appliance or some shit like that, you would just be like, Kristen, I'm gonna run to the store and get it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like, man, I really hope I get it for Christmas. You're not 12. I mean, when you're 12, man, I really hope mom gets me Super Tecmo Bowl. That's the wish of an 11-year-old boy.
Right. Like you might budget thing. I don't live under the budget rule. But if you say you need to buy something, you store that money to buy that thing. And once you've got that money to buy it, you buy it. You don't say, I'm going to wait to get it under the tree at Christmas.
When you've been married a long time, this is from Cliff. You have everything. It's my same. It's my same feeling on gifts for weddings. When previous generations got married, they got married when they were 23. So you know what they needed, Spot? Stuff to start their life together. A perfect example would be you and your wife, or if Covino and Jordan get married. What do they need? They're adults that have a nice life already. They don't need a toaster. They don't need a blender. They have it already.
Lisa Paraggio said something which sparks an interesting thought.
Yeah.
She said, so, for the candle making business, let's say I needed something to make candles, right? And my wife was like, he does it this way. Let me get this for him so it makes it easier. I would be annoyed because I would want to do the research and know what I'm getting. And I would know exactly what I need. Relying on, if I needed a component for my computer or I wanted a new monitor or something, and my wife was like, I bought you a new monitor. I'd be like, what'd you get? My wife that watches,
not the one with the specs I want.
Right. My wife that watches movies in full screen instead of widescreen. It's or in standard definition instead of high definition. It's like I wouldn't rely on her to buy things like that for me. Just like I wouldn't want to buy her certain clothes or, because I know she has a very particular way that she likes things.
Terry Hickey. Terry, is that a Hickey?
Avoid the annoyance.
Terry Hickey said, I would love a gift of a trip. And I think that's one that you could always do at any stage of a relationship or marriage.
But you still need to plan it together. You still need to say, rather than get each other's gifts this year, let's go on a trip. Because you can't just
you don't
say...
think you don't want your wife to open an envelope and it's like, we're going to Hawaii. Like,
oh, I have fucking something that week. You can't do that anymore. People, lives are busy. People have things going on.
I'm with you, Tyler. I miss circling things in the Sears and JCPenney catalog. Mom, I want this. I want this water gun. I want this wrestling ring.
Amazon has a book now.
Of course they do. Because Bezos wants to be a trillionaire.
Or like, the American Girl catalog, which my niece just circles things in for Christmas.
Well, you and I have talked about this, Covino and I, for years. It's so early to talk about this, but if you go to Target or Walmart.
It's not early to talk about it.
Target and Walmart, 2 places I've been in the last week. Both are decked out for Christmas. I told you, I was trying to find, it sounds corny, but I was trying to find some type of fall decoration for the house. Like, maybe they got some type of fall shit that's not orangey and Halloweeny. Yes, I said Halloweeny. But they've already shifted to Christmas, bro.
My weenie feels pretty hollow right
Go
now.
to Home Depot. I went to Home Depot yesterday.
Home Depot had trees up in September.
Home Depot has 30 fucking different Christmas trees to choose from. They have the blow-ups and
the lawn ornaments.
I told Emmy, I said, Emmy, they're very cute, but we're not a white trash family, honey.
Oh, you live in a very nice neighborhood. Have you thought your Christmas decorations? You can't just half-ass it. Like for Halloween, I feel like you have to.
Well, yes,
you got to do the whole lawn.
One of our good pals spot. Shannon's boyfriend, Mike.
Mikey Christmas.
They call him Mikey Christmas. He's already said he wants to volunteer his help, and he's like, we got to deck out this whole fucking place.
Do it.
So, hey, listen, is it too early? Probably.
It's not.
But if
it's not too early because for the reasons you said, and because get it out of the way now.
Is it okay to start watching Christmas stuff? I watched Christmas Office Party the other day, and I forgot how fucking funny that is, but that's like a dumb rated R comedy. I don't think I could be watching Home Alone right now. It's fucking November 8th. Oh yeah, we need Christmas ornaments. Oh. Rich, I'm insulting many people. I know. Blow-ups.
Blow-ups are hideous. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you got kids, I'll give the free pass. If you have kids and it makes them happy. I realized that as I became a dad myself, things I used to make fun of. If it makes your kid happy.
No, blow-ups are miserable.
If it makes your kid happy, then fucking do it. But it's not going to change my mind that they look trashy. If you got fucking a Grinch that stole Christmas 20-foot blow up on your front lawn, your neighbors are talking about you.
I do agree with our buddy Rocket Dog. Put the Christmas lights up now. Even if you don't light them up and you feel like it's too early, put them up now while the weather's still kind of decent.
Yeah.
And then you can light them up in a few weeks. I think it's too early to watch Christmas movies. I think Thanksgiving is the start. The day after Thanksgiving, you can start watching.
Oh, you know what? I admit it. Sarah and I watched.
When Love Actually says 5 weeks until Christmas, that's when you're allowed to start watching Christmas movies.
I agree. Around Thanksgiving. However, Sarah and I watched that new, oh my God, it's awful. Either I was high.
Is it the one with on Netflix, the blind date thing?
Bro, if I was either.
The Tinder, the catfishing one.
I was either high on indica edibles. I got a new edible that makes you a little sleepier, which is good. I got a good night's sleep. Either I was high on edibles or it was the worst acting I've ever seen in my life. And you know me, Spot. I like corny shit. The acting in that movie, Love Hard, was so fucking bad. I can't tell. I don't know if I've seen a movie in my life where it's like, yo, I turn to my wife and I go, Sarah, is it just me or is this like the worst acting you've ever seen in your
Were the main
life?
People okay? Or
they
was
were
it like
all
everyone
bad,
was bad?
Yo, Nina Dobrev. I was like, Sarah, I feel like I've had that girl on in my show with Covino and Spot. And I looked up and it was me, you, and Nina Dobrev and Covino's cardboard cutout. Nina Dobrev, Maxim girl from back in the day. She's likable, but the acting in that movie was fucking god awful. The only fun part, Spot, is that the little Asian kid in the movie, his secret dream that he doesn't think his parents will approve of is that he wants to make candles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I thought of you. I was like, look at Spot. spot in the form of a little Asian boy.
That should be everyone's dream.
I was waiting until Thanksgiving for anything Christmas, but I might have to start early this year. We need some joy. Was the acting porn level acting? Mauser, it might as well have been. You know how I knew it was bad? There's two characters in the movie. I'm not giving anything away because you'll probably watch this piece of turd
I've
with
seen
your
some
wife.
Good porn acting.
You'll probably watch this piece of turd with your wife just because it's #1 trending on Netflix and it's a Christmas movie. It's called Love Hard.
Sounds like a porn.
Within the first 15 minutes, there's a fight in the movie, like a joking argument about, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And I'm like, they're like, it's like dummy fishing content, this movie. Yeah, maybe you'll like it. Put up everything after Thanksgiving. That's from Maria.
Yeah, back to the blow-ups. Don't do blow-ups. Blow-ups I feel like they were novel for a while, and they were like, oh, look at that. That person is a blow-up. Not everyone has them. They look horrible, and they're very depressing, especially during the day when you unplug them and they just all deflate, and it looks like you have a bunch of dead things on your lawn.
Am I wrong, Spot, in saying that where in former years the whole joke was making fun of people for getting in the Christmas spirit too soon, but now with the state of the world, and let's be honest, the last year and a half sucked. Are we okay with being like, dude, if Christmas vibes give you good feelings,
I put up
let's fucking do it.
my family heirloom mini tree that I finally shipped back. I put up. I love it.
I don't know.
Little accents of Christmas are great.
I'm not hating the idea of putting up Christmas decorations around Thanksgiving. I don't think yet. If the week of Thanksgiving you're starting to put up decorations, I'm not going to argue. I'm going to say, you know what? If it puts you in a good mood, fucking go for it. Like, why not? I agree. No Christmas until Black Friday. That's the usual rule, and I've always thought that too.
I keep seeing this floating around, and I kind of agree with this.
Oh,
this is the
new calendar.
The new calendar for what we can expect for the Christmas. Honestly, I completely agree with this.
Do you agree with Vic? Hang up your Christmas lights in December during a blizzard. Be a man.
That's true. Let your hands freeze off.
Given the supply chain bullshit we got going on, buying stuff earlier makes sense, which means decorating earlier might make sense. So, hey, maybe instead of making fun of those people, we join them and say, hey, you know what? A little Christmas in November ain't so bad. In fact, Spot.
Just remember, if you don't want them anymore, you can return them like Rich's shitty friend.
Oh yeah, I have a friend that puts up Christmas lights every year and then returns them and gets new ones every year. I was like, what a fucking scheme. By the way, Spotty. In your former life, before your heart and working out, and when you would eat gabagool by the handful.
I still do.
When you were the meat and cheese friend I had. You used to look forward to the Starbucks holiday offerings.
Oh yeah.
And I noticed that Starbucks has already released the peppermint, the cookie, the creme brulee, all the Christmas Starbucks drinks are now available in addition to the pumpkin spice. So Starbucks even jumped a little early this year, I think. They're serving the Christmas drinks. They got the Christmas cups already.
Well, so the Christmas cups are available, but the reusable cup is not available yet. So let's see.
Look at that. They got the chestnut praline, the toasted.
That's my favorite.
The toasted white chocolate, the peppermint. So Starbucks is already decided.
The peppermint mocha, gross. Iced sugar cookie almond milk latte.
That has Spot written all over.
Can you get that hot? Because that sounds great. Cold drinks are for amateurs. Toasted white chocolate mocha frappuccino. That sounds good. Chestnut praline.
That sounds like something Zooline would order.
Ooh, Irish cream cold brew. What is it?
The toasted one.
I have the toasted white chocolate mocha frappuccino blended beverage.
Love it.
Cranberry bliss bar.
Oh, Emmy will love the new reindeer cake
cute.
pop. Well, hey, listen.
I do love the Starbucks holiday drinks. I'm all about it.
Well, let's start the show by saying.
By the way, the chestnut praline latte, for those that care, actually has the least amount of calories of the holiday drinks.
Yeah, you turned me on to that, Spot. I enjoy that one. I don't like rushing the holidays. You can't enjoy one holiday because we're already rushing to the next one. Jason, I agree with that sentiment, but I feel like I did something this year that I was way early on Halloween because I feel like it's also a way to excite your kids and give them something fun to be excited about. Like we decorated for Halloween the very end of September. So we had a full month of like Halloween decorations up.
That's good.
And you know what? I'm thinking like,
Put the tree up.
if it makes fucking kids happy and it brings a little joy and excitement to your life, who gives a shit, right?
Have you decided where you're putting your tree yet? It's a new
No.
house. It's your first Christmas.
You know what, Spot? I was hoping that you could eye it with me and do because you always want that eye of one of your friends. Big. What do you think? On the fireplace in that corner where the Peloton is?
Oh.
The Peloton. Sarah's like, leave it there, and I'm like, function. The old function fashion thing when it comes to clothes. I feel like that with the house. Like our Peloton is in the corner of our living area because Sarah's like, well, if I want to do a Peloton ride and the kids are here, and I'm like, we can't be having a Peloton in our main living area permanently. It's going to drive me insane.
I didn't think about it. See, my thought would be put it in the corner by the television.
Where Planty is now.
Where Planty is, because
I
it would
agree.
be a focal point right there.
Right
it's
there.
in the corner.
I agree.
But the fact that you have a fireplace, it would look really nice next to the fireplace.
Like
Maybe you get 2 trees.
Yeah, 2 trees. That might be a little weird.
trees.
Maybe I'll get a white Christmas tree like Gio and his mother. Halloween is awesome. I agree. Listen, this is the time of the year where people get all festive, right? From Halloween until the end of the year, you decorate, you have a little fun. Compromise, whatever Sarah wants. I say that too. All right. Well, hey, a few things we'll get to today, and most exciting is that we'll get to see Steve Covino tomorrow, back in action. Spot in the form of an Asian boy. Yes, that's what I called the the Asian kid in Love Hard.
Oh, yeah.
So, couple things that are on my mind today. I talked a lot of football last night, obviously. Fox Football, Sunday Fun Day. Spot, you were a great help. I appreciate you.
Yep.
We had a good time last night. Really fun show. And I guess you would say the big takeaway from football, we don't even need to harp on it, is that everything you thought you knew, it just went wrong. So the good teams didn't look so good. The bad teams didn't look so bad. And there's guys like Donnie Pompidou who should be high-fiving people today because his Atlanta Falcons, who everyone thought stunk, are 4-4, and they would make the playoffs if the season ended today. The Patriots, I guess they're good. Who's not so good? Is Cincinnati not as good as we thought? Are the Rams, they got fucking whooped last night by Tennessee. Is Tennessee better than we thought? The Bills got beat by Jacksonville. There was a lot of crazy shit. The Cowboys, what the fuck happened to them? They got their ass handed to them by the Broncos. The Denver Broncos won. What do you think about that? That was a fucking crazy game. So you probably lost money yesterday. That's why I didn't bet a lot, Spot. If you watched our Behind the Velvet Rope, my teaser town, I started it by saying, I have zero instinct this week. This week is going to suck. And I was right. I should have just not. I bet more for fun. I don't know what the fuck.
Honestly, I think, not that I want to go down this road, but I think Aaron Rodgers threw off the whole vibe of the weekend.
Aaron Rodgers. Pete Davidson played him on SNL. That's something I want to get to. One of the few things I wrote down for today, Spot. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm good.
Fuck the COVID protocol. Fuck. Well, I'm saying I don't want to discuss.
Right.
I don't want to discuss vaxxed or unvaxxed. I don't want to discuss the protocol.
That's wax, baby.
That's a tired conversation.
I'm super immune. What's up?
Yeah, we're like double immune now.
Double immune. Apparently,
I'm gonna lick COVID's butthole, and I still won't get it.
Apparently, getting the vaccine and then actually getting COVID is like the best protection you could have.
I know,
because you have the synthetic and the natural immunity.
I'm gonna start fucking everything. Oh wait, is it not that type of?
It's no.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean from the virus? Okay. Sorry, Sarah. I want to talk about not Aaron Rodgers trusting Joe Rogan. And by the way, people are very quick to be snarky about Joe Rogan like he's some dummy. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers should be saying, I trust Joe Rogan over doctors, but people are very quick to roll their eyes at Joe Rogan like he's not a smart guy. Here's my take on Aaron Rodgers. When you get caught lying, think about this. In relationships, at work, do you double down or do you come forward and say, hey, listen, guys, you caught me. I just, tried to pull a fast one on you and it, didn't work out. Is that what you do, Spot? Would you double down on your fib if you're Aaron Rodgers, or did Aaron Rodgers did a great thing though. What Aaron Rodgers did was brilliant. He went on his buddy's show where you know that Pat McAfee wasn't going to press him. That's like if one of our friends was in a scandal and they came on our show, right? You'd give them the platform, but you're not going to be hard on them like the press would if they didn't know that person. Like Pat McAfee and Aaron Rodgers are boys.
I disagree with that. I feel like that's when you say to your butt, like, let's make something out of this. Let's make this legit. And I would say, let's go hard. Let's get real because people are going to want real.
Yeah, I get it, but you knew going into that when you know that Pat McAfee does his weekly Aaron Rodgers hang. Did you think he was going to go all in and be like, Aaron Rodgers, you're a liar and a dummy, like the rest of the world? The rest of the world is calling Aaron Rodgers a dummy and a fucking moron. Do you think he wants to talk to that media? Or do you think he wants to go on the show where there's going to be softball layups? I get it. Doesn't it make sense, though, that that's where Aaron Rodgers went to talk?
Yeah, I mean, he does it anyway. That's where he constantly, he's always on that show.
Yeah. So again, forget the protocol. And they can't suspend him. That would be the most ridiculous thing ever. They can't suspend
He should
Aaron.
have just owned it.
They can't suspend Aaron Rodgers.
That's the problem.
And I'll tell you why. I'll quote Tim Tebow.
Getting caught in a lie.
Our Father who art in heaven. Oh, let me quote a different Tim Tebow. All right. Tim Tebow said, if you get caught lying, if you're going to say that lying is a suspendable offense, then every week you're going to suspend players. Tom Brady on the fucking The Shop on HBO said, I lie to the media and the press all the time. Yesterday, Baker Mayfield said that he's friends with Odell Beckham Jr. and wishes him well. That's bullshit. That is a lie. You can't suspend someone for lying. He will get fined. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to know, outside of the NFL, outside of football, outside of Aaron Rodgers, when you do get caught, or someone you know gets caught telling a fib, is it best to own it, or is it best to fucking double down?
Own it. Because you, in 2022, almost 2022, you will get caught in a lie. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Listen, our former president, and this is not a mock at him or anything, because
ifs, buts, Canadian nuts, we'd all have one.
Millions and millions and millions of people will support Donald Trump to the fucking death. Wow. And Donald Trump's the ultimate person of, I'm just doubling down. You think I said something offensive? No, wrong.
By the way,
it's not offensive. Like, he doubled down on everything he's ever said. Doubling down seems to work sometimes.
To tie this in, the new SNL Trump is getting major props for his impression.
Yeah?
It's fantastic. I would play it, but it's NBC.
Do people hate Rogan because they realize how much influence he has? Like, you ever see The View talk about Rogan? Oh, they despise him.
What are they like? What's the comparison? Like Rogan is like Oprah for frat bros.
Rogan is Oprah for 40-something-year-old white guys.
Yeah, it's like, I get it. Yes, it could be valid.
See, Vic is saying own it. You only make it worse by doubling down.
Yes.
But I'm not trying to say President Trump has the right idea, but he did that for 4+ years, and
wrong.
People are like, doubling down makes you look like a dummy when you know you're wrong. If Aaron Rodgers is saying the vaccines could have given him he's allergic to them. Is he allergic to them the same way Stanley T is allergic to food he doesn't like? Wait, hold on. Remember Stan would be like, I'm allergic. And you're like, Stan, are you really allergic? He's like, no, I just don't like it. So I say I'm allergic.
Like, I thought what are the other mRNA vaccines?
I'm just saying, doubling down. Lisa's saying, well, if you want to be viewed as a clown, or do you want to be viewed as respected? Do you think if Aaron Rodgers said, hey, listen, guys, there was some confusion, and I own it. But what Aaron Rodgers came out and said, yo, the woke left is going to come after me, and the right is going to support me, and I don't give a shit about any of it. Like, Aaron Rodgers, not having any of this. Some people, if he is allergic to it, right? If Aaron Rodgers is allergic, for real, not Stanley T allergic, like really allergic.
I mean, I'm not a scientist by any means.
Yeah.
Nor is Joe Rogan. But I thought the mRNA vaccines were like a new thing.
I'm allergic to taxes too, Mark.
How did he know that he was allergic to mRNA vaccines? Or did he just say I'm allergic?
That's what I'm asking. I mean, I don't know Aaron Rodgers. I don't know his doctors. But is he Stanley T allergic or is he really allergic? If he's really allergic and his answer is I'm allergic, and around the time the vaccines were out, Johnson & Johnson was my only option. And that was around the time it got pulled and had issues. So I went my own path. I mean, what if he really is allergic?
That's okay. So he's allergic.
Did Joe Rogan tell him he was allergic?
Probably.
I don't know. But the better question is...
That aside, his choice of what he wants to do, whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently he was getting tested regularly under the I'm not vaccinated protocol. But I don't know.
Yeah. But
Whatever.
Aaron Rodgers in the news caught
Just
lying.
Be honest.
Yeah. So much so.
Because it doesn't matter what you choose. This whole situation, throughout the whole past two years, I don't give a shit what you do with yourself. But once it affects me, that's when you need to be a little bit more considerate. So his choice to not want to get vaccinated, great. But if you're surrounding yourselves with other people, then you need to take more precautions.
If he's saying, though, that he worked out separately from the team, if the team knew, here's the question. If his teammates are not mad and the fans are not mad, does it come down to, well, then who's really mad? You follow that? Like if his teammates knew this and they're not mad at him, and the fans of the Packers are like, fuck it, we love Aaron Rodgers regardless. Does it really matter? He just comes across as like an arrogant jerk to everybody.
Right.
He's come across that way forever. If you not to shit on Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers is also the guy who, if you remember, doesn't talk to anyone in his family. Aaron Rodgers, off season, really just sort of took a big shit on the whole Packers organization.
Right. Like I said last night on Fox Sports Radio. This is a great point, Spot. We've had to look the other way multiple times for Aaron Rodgers this year. So it's like if this was his first offense, I feel like maybe we'd be okay. But the fact that he's just been a dick since the offseason, it's almost like you don't want to give him another chance.
What about this? I got one for you. Thanks, babe. What if?
Nice mug, Rich.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Sarah, for my coffee and my Covino and Rich mug.
We also have woke up this morning, got some gabagool mug. You should use that tomorrow.
I will. I will. Perfect.
I got that for Covino, but you can use it.
Perfect.
Just don't jizz in it.
Aaron Rodgers, as we said yesterday on Fox to wrap it up, sometimes you're so good that people give you a lot of free passes to do silly, dumb things. And he's almost in that category, especially after you watch Jordan Love play yesterday. You're like, oh, Aaron Rodgers. They really do need him. So who knows? That's the Aaron Rodgers story. Moving on. I'm done talking about Aaron. By the way, Ro, I'm so sorry.
What would happen?
He said, how could Donnie Pompadour be your go-to Falcons fan? I've actually hung out with Ro in Georgia at a Falcons game. So, Ro, my apologies. But I've also hung out with Ro at a craps table in Vegas and lost thousands. So maybe that's why I thought of Donnie Pompadour. All right. People are calling him Karen Rodgers. People are calling him Aaron Rodgers.
Q-Aaron.
Q-Aaron Rodgers.
Q-Aaron.
All right. Jordan gets no love.
Poor guy.
All right. So there you go. Aaron Rodgers, his family doesn't love him, and now everyone else doesn't love him. I have a story about turning around the car that I'd like to hear your stories.
I got a story.
Now,
One story.
Spot's got one story. Start thinking.
It's not that exciting.
Put your thinking cap on. I don't know what type of cap that is. Is it a Goopaline? Is it a...
It's a pork pie hat.
Is it a nice fedora?
Pork pie.
How our grandparents used to wear, like to work, like, see you later, honey. Put your thinking cap
It's
on.
that hat that Narzan was wearing in Vegas.
What is he, a Mountie cop? What the fuck is Narzan doing?
Canadian.
He looks handsome, but I mean, he looks like he's Pharrell.
He's Canadian.
Because I'm happy.
Mine's a Mountie hat.
So
One of those big ones.
I had planned on being in Texas today. And
Mine's the hat that they serve ice cream in at a baseball stadium.
oh, a nice little plastic Mets helmet, the tiny
a little mini helmet.
little mini
Or
Yankees
no,
hat.
actually they have big ones now that they serve nachos in.
Oh,
That's the one I wear.
Ben would put that shit on his head right away and have cheese head. My son's disgusting.
Oh, remember that cheese head that you got?
I do. So I was supposed to be in Texas today, and I have a story of something that I never have done before. And it's a weird feeling of turning around the car. Sarah and I had planned to go to Texas on Friday. We were going to leave on Friday. We were going to stay with our buddy Nico and his wife Dana and their kid Justin on Friday. Make our way to Texas, get there by Sunday. I was going to do Fox from Texas Sunday night. And then I was going to be in Texas all week this week. And we packed the car. Got the kids ready, everything. We were 15, 20 minutes into our drive. And it just felt like something was like, Emmy's going to miss school for a month. How long are we going to be here? Till after Thanksgiving? Then it was like, well, I have to come back and forth twice for Fox, and I have to host an event for SiriusXM. And long, boring story short, our contractor also gave us some good news that it looks like this is the month that we might get our kitchen countertops.
Oh, congratulations.
After 6 months of having plywood.
The ship finally came into port.
The ship came into port. So after 6 months of having a plywood island in my kitchen.
I thought you were going to be out on a jet ski trying to get
I was actually about to rent jet skis to bring in the fucking countertops. So between the last minute housework, between feeling weird about, even though it's preschool, after feeling weird about Emmy missing like 3 weeks of school, after knowing that I had SiriusXM events mixed with...
Here's Rich on the way to get his...
yeah, that's me.
On the way to get his countertops.
I'm going to get my countertops. I'll be right back.
Just outside the port of LA.
Woo! So... all these things were adding up in my head, Spot. I'm like, all right, so all right, we're actually making progress on the house for the first time in months. I have to host a couple events. So I had planned on flying back and forth from Texas twice in the next month. And Thanksgiving leads into December. Then we're coming back here. And I was like, it involves driving to and from Texas. We were 20 minutes into our drive spot. We were already past like Burbank, headed towards like Glendale.
It's your calendar.
Yeah, it's my calendar. Emmy goes, Mommy, Daddy, I have a stomach ache. And I was like, all right, we're like on leg one of a practically 20-hour drive. And Emmy's like, I have a stomach ache. And I'm like, is this our sign? And I looked at Sarah, and we gave each other the same look like, yeah, maybe Emmy saying I have a stomach ache was like, what, is our kid going to, now we have to pull over. Does Emmy have to shit? Like, what's going on? We're like, you know what? Everything about this just feels like, let's leave in like another week or so. So we turned the car around, came back home, and then felt like, oh, this weekend we're where we never thought we'd be. So we actually had a clean house. We had packed, done all our laundry and everything. So it's just one of those turn the car around. I've never done that. I want to know if you guys have ever planned a trip, got in the car. We drove 20 minutes on family vacations. On family vacations. When your parents would be fighting, because my parents, that's how I knew they were going to get divorced when I was little. Every family vacation, they fought like hell. We're going to turn this car around. It never happened. But you've heard parents say that, like, we're all right, we're going to go home. We're turning this car around. And, you know, it ends up being a big change of plans because now we're, why were we going to Texas in the first place, Andrew? Because we were going there for Thanksgiving, and we were going to go there a couple weeks earlier for Worst Fest because Worst Fest is open again because it was closed last year. There was a fire and COVID and everything. So we had planned on going to Worst Fest and planned on just spending some time with Sarah's family. And we said, you know what? If we go a little before Thanksgiving, we'll still have time to see your family. But I've never done that before, so I'm curious if anyone else has ever turn the car around. No, Piper Waffles was in the car, by the way, Lynn. Piper was in her little middle area, chilling on a blanket. I've never done it. Yeah, that's awesome. Cliff is saying you thought it out. And sometimes it just adds up. I was like, Sarah, the house, Emmy's school, I have to be back and forth.
Piper Waffles was looking forward to a vacation, and you fucked it
know.
up.
I know.
She's like, what the fuck is this shit when she came back in the house?
Clark Griswold would be disappointed, and then I said, you know what? If I'm going to be doing the Fox show, and if Covino is still recovering too, then I'm in Texas, he's at home, Spot's here. Everything added up to, let's postpone our trip a little bit. But it didn't, but Spot,
you didn't have anything. You didn't have anything booked or anything.
No, but
it
was
just driving.
But
there.
it was so what? Meaning we had suitcases and fucking everything. And then I said, you know what, Sarah? Not to sound mean or anything, but like we lived in Texas for 6 months, and you know what? Maybe I was a little burnt out, Andrew, on being in Texas, and I thought, you know what? A week and a half or so around the holidays, around Thanksgiving, will be good. We're going to miss Worst Fest, which is a bummer because we want to bring the kids there. Because, you know, something else I realized, Spot, over the weekend. As Emmy gets older, newsflash, you can't just pull kids out of school for fun. Maybe once a year, your friend would go out of school because his family was going somewhere. But you can't, like, in the future, I can't just be like, early November, let's pull Emmy out of first grade for Worst Fest.
Yeah, I mean,
so in the future,
she's in daycare now, right?
Yeah, she's in preschool,
or
like pre-K. She goes to kindergarten.
That sounds like real school. Pre-K is real school.
Right? Yeah, you know, well, I don't think it's real school when you could choose how many days a week they go.
Oh, okay.
Like Emmy goes 4 days a week, but that's just because we chose 4. Yeah, it was just one of those adulting things where I'm like, fucking the house, school, life, everything. And I said, let's turn the car around. We're 20 minutes into the drive. Not that that's a lot, but we drove to, we were by Glendale, Spot, turned around, and we're like, all right, let's go home.
That's not bad. That's not a bad. That's not too much.
Seems like we were just there. We left Texas around the beginning of July. So July, August, September, October. Yeah, we haven't been to Texas in 5 months, so it's been a minute. So, Spot, what is your turn the car around story?
It's not that exciting. I was...
Yeah, by the way, Alejandro is right. Pre-K is sort of like whatever. Next year, I told Sarah, like, I was not mentally thinking that once Emmy's in kindergarten...
That's real school.
Yeah, no, that's real school where you could take a kid out on a Friday or Monday for a 3-day weekend. But you can't be like, yeah, we're just going to like miss a week of school in November because mom and dad want to go to a beer and sausage festival and visit family. Pre-K, you could do that. I had you ever have the rich kids in school?
By the way, I could take off for sausage.
I saw a funny meme, a funny little thing about when you were a kid, what made you think other families were rich? And I made my own little list of what made you think other families had money. Because I grew up very middle class. We were never poor, but we weren't by any means rich. I always thought if someone had a new car, they were super rich. My family never had a new car. I always thought the family that ordered pay-per-views like wrestling or fights, oh man, they're paying for the pay-per-view. They must be rich.
The people that had more than like 5 Nintendo games, I thought were really rich.
I always thought the people that had an in-ground pool were rich because on the East Coast, a lot of people have those above-ground pools, and those are like, you know, that's what a lot of people in the suburbs and middle-class Long Island have. If you have an in-ground pool, fucking wealth.
Generational wealth.
And one of those things on the list of, you thought someone else was rich was when a lot of people, when the rich kid would be pulled out of school because the family was going to like Disney. Flying. I did not fly until I was a senior in high school or a junior in high school for a school trip.
Don't forget islands and kitchens. Those used to be really wealthy.
Oh, if you had an island?
If you had an island, that was a big thing.
Let's see. But Rich, a lot of people will take a week off from school and the parents want the teachers to give them their homework for that week. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, the pay-per-view family blew my mind too. I'm like, man, Phil's dad must have so much money. He rents every WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Tyson fight, Holyfield fight. I thought my buddy Phil was balling.
We just bought it to Scrambler.
Oh. Well,
we were the stealing family.
Well, I will say that we turned the car around and Spot Give me your story.
It's very quick. So in, I want to say it was my freshman year of college. No, that's not possible. It was one of my later years in college. I was in college.
Oh, by the way, I agree with J-Bot. Spot. Anyone that got a new car when they started driving?
Oh, yeah.
Rich.
Anyone in high school, any of those kids in high school that were driving new cars,
Oh, yeah.
you knew their family had money.
I graduated.
I had a 1984 Buick Skyhawk.
Oh, you beat me.
That was my.
You beat me.
And it was a hand-me-down, and it was like, I'm pretty sure there was a new engine, like the engine was replaced. It was just like, it was a brown, old, shitty 4-door.
I remember. Do you remember how much you paid for your first car?
I did not pay for it because it was a hand-me-down.
I remember
it was handed down from my two brothers.
My grandparents.
Probably a jizz.
My grandparents matched me, meaning like I put up a couple $1,000s and they matched me. I spent $3,800. Look up a picture of this because I want everyone to be so jealous of my first car. It was 1997, and my first car was a 1990 Plymouth Acclaim. There was no acclaim. there was no bragging or acclaim when it came to the 1990 gray Plymouth Acclaim.
Gray? Let's see. Here it is.
See if you can find a gray Plymouth Acclaim. Picture me driving this bad boy. This is a pussy magnet. Excuse my language.
What's the show intro? This?
Fucking yes. Look at that.
That's a thing of beauty.
1990 Plymouth Acclaim?
That's wonderful.
Yes, I know. You're thinking to yourself, how did I push away all the women? Psh, I don't know.
Probably with the mullet.
My friend Phil, the kid with the pay-per-views, you know what he drove to school? His dad's Audi. There was a kid, Anthony. Rich Guido kid.
We're very.
Rich Guido kid drove a fucking BMW to a Franklin Square High School, which was unheard of. Look at this. Daniel said 92 Chevy, 81 El Camino. People are shouting at their cars. Yeah, Jonesy was a senior in 97.
Now picture this, but in brown. That's my car. That was my car. This, but in brown, like shit brown.
It's so weird because the hood is trying to almost insinuate it's sort of sporty,
but it's not.
Like the front is sort of sporty, and the back is like the fucking shittiest little. Yeah. The back looks like my car, the Plymouth Acclaim. The front looks like it's like a Trans Am or something.
Right? It's trying so hard.
It's trying. Yeah. So.
I wonder if I could find an actual picture of me with my car. I might have it.
So, Spot, while you look that up.
Oh, let me tell my story.
Tell the story about turning the car around, because if you're just joining us, which I'm sure you're not.
I was in, yeah.
I turned the car around. We were 20 minutes into our road trip to Texas. I even called Nico, and I'm like, Nico, I'll see you tonight for dinner. Then I called him, and I'm like, you know what, bro? I'm sorry to last minute cancel on you, but yeah, maybe I'll see you in a couple weeks. I think we're going to postpone our trip. It just didn't feel, the timing didn't feel right. 93 Sentra. What's up, Renee? That must have been hot. People who had cars that were made in the same decade felt rich to me. That's from Alejandro. Like if the car was in the same decade, like if it was the 90s and your car was a 1990 something, I feel you on that.
You ready?
Yeah.
So in college, it was December. I remember this. So it was later on, I guess it was later on in my college career because I'd already worked at Z100 or intern there or whatever. So my boss from Z100 was like, "Oh, I got you a pair of tickets to Jingle Ball," which was back then was like the big show. And I don't remember the year, so I don't remember exactly who was performing, but it was probably really awesome. It was like a Thursday night, let's say.
Can I tell you something really annoying since you brought up Jingle Ball?
Please.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Spot.
I just want to get the story out because it's not that great.
No, because your story's so good, I want to just keep stretching it out.
Okay, it's not that great at all.
This is so relatable to everyone listening. I promise you. Is there some place you worked or something you did that your idiot friends and family don't realize that you haven't been there in decades? Every Christmas holiday season, as Deontay Wilder would say, till this day, I have at least a handful of idiots asking me if I could get them Jingle Ball tickets.
Are you serious?
I haven't worked at Z100 since 2004. That is 17 years ago. People still ask me every year, yo, you got a hookup for Jingle Ball? Get a fucking clue. Back to you. You don't get that ever? Like there's someone that may have worked at a fucking store years ago and someone's like, hey, you got a hookup? Yo, bro, I don't have the hookup. I haven't worked there in...
Bruv.
I get someone hit me up the other day that goes, I know you don't work at ESPN anymore. Yo, you got a Lakers ticket hookup? And I'm like, first of all, I never had a Lakers ticket hookup, but you think I still have a hookup at a place that I don't work at anymore? Get your head out of your ass.
By the way, here's a photo, but it's not a proper photo because it's from graduation. Yeah. So my car is like shittily decorated.
Ooh.
But here's me in high school.
Look at that.
With my 1984 Buick Skyhawk. I really made that shit look great for graduation.
Do? Did you just put painter's tape on it?
No, it's streamers.
To me, it looks like you just put blue painter's tape on your hood. Yeah. Look at you. God. Who knew that guy would turn into a bearded, fucking cocky wonder?
Anyway, so it was in college.
Oh, right. By the way, Ryan, cello fellow wants to know, Spot, do you have any hookups at Old Navy? Yeah, but can you give me a hookup?
No, sorry, I'm
yeah,
no more.
Spot worked there in 2002. Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, I can get you that sweet 20% Gap discount.
Got a hookup? By the way, I got to thank Keith Velez. He's the only person I've used for a hookup in the last years. He gave me a hookup on my iPhone. Thank you.
Oh, Keith Velez and Mike Velasco. Mike Velasco gave me an electronics hookup.
Mike Velasco? He got me my fucking sweet...
Oh, he got us these cameras.
Mike Velasco. How you doing, buddy? He got me my my sweet fucking stove, my Italian stove, custom. All right, so Spot. J Bots, I don't have a Wendy's hookup anymore. I'm sorry. I know. I get you some fucking free Frosties.
I was in college, and I got tickets to Jingle Ball, and it was a Thursday night. Let's say.
Jingle these balls.
And I'm like, it's like I went to Maryland, University of Maryland. The concert was at probably Madison Square Garden. And I'm like, it's going to be an awesome show. I feel like it was probably a huge headliner. I'm like, I got to go see this. Probably like Aerosmith or something.
Man, Aerosmith and Puff Daddy.
I'm like, you know what?
And Britney.
I'm going to go. I got tickets. They're waiting for me. Let me just drive up. I'll go up for the night. I'll go see the concert and I'll drive back in the morning. And I had a paper due the next day, right? Ooh. Which it was like a 12-page paper. I remember this. It was 12 pages.
Just increase your font size and your spacing slightly. It'll be a 10-page paper.
12-page paper. Oh, I know when this was. It was 2001. It was December 2001. Because it was right after, it was a paper that I was writing for the class that I remember I was in during 9/11. So it was a 12-page paper on journalism, let's say, and what was going on in the news and all that shit. So I'm like, I was probably like 2 pages into it, but I had tickets to this concert. I'm like, I'll go, I'll drive up, I'll spend the night, I'll see the concert, I'll be really excited, I'll drive back in the morning, 3 hours, I'll be back by noon the next day, and then I'll hand in the paper in the afternoon. So I drive from Maryland up to the Delaware state line, about to go over the Delaware Bridge, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Delaware?
I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? There's no way in fucking hell I'm going to finish this paper on time if I go to the show and go and hang out at home or whatever. So at the Delaware state line, right before I went over the Delaware Bridge, I just turned around. I went through you
literally went all the way to Delaware.
I went to the Delaware state line. So I probably drove like an hour and a half.
What am I doing?
Which isn't a lot.
I'm being irresponsible.
When you're paying for gas as a college student is a lot.
Man, I'm being irresponsible Christian. Oh.
There's a rest stop just before you hit the Delaware
State.
The
Roy Rogers?
Before you hit the toll booth where it's two-sided. So I went into it and I turned around and I stopped. I probably stopped, got some Roy Rogers because I was fat, and then drove back to Maryland and finished my paper.
Can you
overnight.
Occupy people for 30 seconds?
Do you have to pee?
No, because I'm going to go get the program for Jingle Ball 2001. I know exactly where it is. Oh, yeah. And I'll let everyone know what you missed.
I mean, I could look it up online.
And I have a funny story from that night.
All right, fine. I could also look it up online. You know what? Here, I'll show pictures of me. How do I open this? Here's me grilling in a shirt that was, I don't know. There's some hamburger buns. Let's see what else. There's me in my car. There's the back of the photo. There's me in the car again. Let's see what else we got. Oh, there's me in a fire. My sister was on the fire department. There's me in a fire jacket. How about that? Oh, there's me from Disney World. All right, that's enough. Rich, hurry up. I can't fill time.
The fact that I located that in 30 seconds.
That's pretty impressive. All right, tell me who was at Jingle Ball 2001.
You telling a really epic story?
No, I had nothing else to say.
I want to see you. So here we go.
Oh, that's a nice one. See, I don't have that because I didn't go.
Jingle Ball 2001.
Who was at the show?
Oh, a greeting from Tom Pullman.
Oh,
Welcome to Jingle Ball 01. Greetings from Elvis Duran.
Look at him. He was still chubby.
That's when Elvis was like way big. Get a close up on this bad boy. Your Z100 DJs.
Oh, just think. It's going to be blurry. It's not going to work. Don't make me refocus the camera. It's going to be annoying.
Rich Davis, Cubby Bryant, Carson Daly, Shelly Wade. Here's the lineup spot.
All right, here we go. Let me know what I missed.
An exclusive. Let's see.
Would you get to the point?
Oh, Craig David.
Oh, yeah. I was a big Craig David fan at the time. 7 days.
Missy Elliott.
Huge star.
Missy Elliott. Mariah.
Ah! Mariah Christmas.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Listen to this lineup.
Lifehouse.
Oh, man.
Pink.
Pink was great.
Jewel.
Loved Jewel.
Enrique Iglesias.
Huge at the time.
Alicia
Bailamos.
Keys.
Star.
Sugar Ray.
Should have told Mark McGrath. I never got to see him.
O-Town.
Daniel Javier Fitz would have been sad.
And Five for Fighting. Thank you for coming to
I'm
Jingle Ball.
I'm sure seeing Mariah was probably my driving force because she was just so great. But you know, I got an A on that paper.
Can you
so I don't
fill
care.
me in?
I remember getting an A on that paper because I went back and I did it.
No, you got an A, but you know what you missed? Can I get a H to the Izzo? You missed Mariah.
I probably missed her doing All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah, All I Want for Christmas
And
Is
my
You.
punishment for that is now having to hear it nonstop for the rest of my life.
Missy, Lifehouse, Pink, Jewel, Enrique. Yeah, I hope that paper was worth it, Spot. So yeah.
So let me hear your Jingle Ball 2001
2001.
story.
You know, not to think of it, it wasn't Jingle Ball 01. It was Zootopia 01.
Oh.
When we would do all these big concerts. Did I ever tell you the story about the sales guy that cockblocked me on a level that is unknown, unheard of?
I'd love to hear it.
So we're at a Z100 after party. And one of the cute sales chicks and I were getting it on. Now,
You were actually getting it on, or you were like vibing?
oh, no, we were vibing, and it was one of those like, yeah, we're gonna get it on. There was an after party at a hotel. I went up to my room, and she was like, "Are you cool with me bringing my friend?" Dude. I don't know if I ever told the story because it was just such a letdown.
Dude.
So it was a good-looking sales girl and her attractive friend. And when I tell you, I think you have a similar story involving black ice, where cock blocks just sort of prevailed.
I mean, technically, yeah. I feel like that's more Covino story than
Covino
mine.
and our buddy Matt, you're a married guy, but I know what you mean. You were in Vegas one time where black ice was sort of lingering and hanging when like single guys like, get out of here.
You know what else was hanging that night? Sophia Beverly's titties.
Exactly.
Just
and
saying.
I remember going to the hotel room
They were there.
with these two girls. We were having drinks, probably like Fireball, some 2000s drink. I don't even know, maybe Goldschlager. I don't even know if Fireball was a thing yet.
It wasn't.
And we're getting it on doing shots.
You were
and
having
I'm-
Red Bull vodkas.
Yo, bro. And all of a sudden I get a knock on the door. I'm I'm like, who the fuck is at my hotel room? I'm pre-gaming. I'm post-gaming with these two girls. And I'm pretty confident that I may not bang them both, but we're making out and shit's going to happen. Like this is, the three of us are about to have good times, great oldies. And all of a sudden I open the door and it's this fucking sales dude that Covino and I have referred to. His name was Owen Out the Door. And they used to call him Owen Out the Door because
He would always leave.
he would always leave
early.
and come. Yeah. And he always wore a tie that ended too short. You ever see someone that wears a necktie and it doesn't go to their belt line? It's too short.
Yes.
Motherfucker always wore a short tie. He worked at K-Rock, so Covino knew him. Then he worked at Z100, so I knew him. So it was one of the few random people Covino and I were like, oh yeah, that sales guy. This guy bursts in. Hey, what's up, guys? We partying? I'm like, here we go. Yeah, we are, bud. He starts like offering people other things. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not into that. Yo, bro, we'll meet you downstairs. He fucking hung out to the point where eventually the girl's like, all right, we're going to go. And this guy ultimately cockblocked me. Couldn't read the room that I had two girls in my room. And he fucking barges in and starts hanging and shooting the shit. I'm like, can this guy get the fuck out of here? At that point, what do? You pull him aside and say, fucking beat it, dude. He thought he was like just joining the hang. Didn't realize what was about to go down. So fuck that guy.
Was this when you had that threesome with Tiny Tim?
No, this would have been a good one. This would not have been an embarrassing one spot.
Okay.
But hey, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Want to see a photo of me 25 years ago?
I do want to see a photo of you 25 years ago.
Here's me at Disney World during the 25th anniversary celebration. They're now in the 50th anniversary celebration, which makes me feel old.
You bang those girls? Is that your threesome?
That's my friend
Katie. Is that, yeah, that's
that
your
girl in the
Katie.
middle had some jubs.
So Katie, and that girl had a fucking Winnie the Pooh threesome on her shirt.
Yeah, we did.
You fuck Winnie the Pooh girl?
I put my Mickey ears on their butt cheeks.
You put your fucking hog in their honey jar. Rich got dissed. I did get dissed. That's next level sales guy. I agree, Alejandro. Fucking sales guy's a legend. Knocking on doors, interrupting possible threesomes.
I feel like you've
I've cockblocked you enough that I
feel like that was, you know what?
That was
and I
the
think,
world.
Oh, that was the day that you vowed never again to be clock blocked. You were going to be the cock blocker.
Yeah.
And that's where it changed for you.
And I'm sure,
Ruined
by the way,
everybody else's lives.
And I'm sure, Spot, everyone's been there once in their life where they're about to get into a good situation. I'm not saying a threesome, but they're about to get it on with someone, or they're feeling good flirty vibes, and someone gets in their way. Maybe it's been me. I remember one time, do you remember the story where Covino pulled me aside and fucking shoved me away? He's like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Covino was talking to some girl at a after party, and I just came over and I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? And Covino's like, get the fuck out of here. Imagine my dagger eyes when that guy was lingering. Yeah, Spot has no pity for Rich in these moments.
Nope.
I don't expect you to.
I've been on the receiving end of that situation so many times thanks to you. So there's no sympathy whatsoever. None.
But I just remember thinking, like, I remember even, it's so far back, but I actually still remember that feeling of, all right, how am I going to make the move? There's two of them. What do I do? And I was like, well, I guess I never have to apply this deep thinking, because here comes Owen to ruin the time. Hate that guy. This week's episode of What If. I agree.
Like, look at this stud. Do you think this stud had any issues nailing it down? And then you came along and ruined it for me.
Look at you.
That's my friend Dana.
Oh, Dana definitely wants you.
Right? She's all the way on the other end.
Look at that left titty hanging.
Right?
All right.
Titties.
Turning the car around. Great story. Good times. So yeah, I'm here for the next couple weeks. So I will. I'll be in LA until, I think I'm going to leave the week of Thanksgiving. So I will be with you then until then, Spotty.
Wait, you're leaving what?
Probably the week of Thanksgiving. I think I'm going to leave on.
So you're staying like 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay here until Thanksgiving. There's no point to go back and forth a few times, because I have to be back here. So what are you going to do? Did you watch Dexter last night?
No, but I did watch Yellowstone, and I will not say anything. I will say.
Is this the prequel to Yellowstone or actually Yellowstone?
The prequel to Yellowstone is coming out. I think it's going to be a streaming only show.
Okay.
Which comes out next month, starring Tim McGraw, Sam Elliott, of course, because he's in everything that's Western.
Tim McGraw, like the singer?
Yes, and Faith Hill are both in it. But it looks pretty good. So it's supposed to be like when the land was received by the Dutton family, who's the family. You got to watch Yellowstone. It's so great. Last night was fantastic.
I'm going to watch Love Hard on Netflix, the shitty comedy about a little Asian boy that likes candles.
Season 3 left on a major cliffhanger. And everything kind of got answered and resolved. And the next season ahead looks fantastic. So,
all right, I'll watch Yellowstone if you watch the morning show.
I will. Fine.
Because,
I watched Ted Lasso.
And you
I
loved
watched
it.
Ted Lasso.
And you loved it.
So you should watch Yellowstone. I watched
Okay.
I watched 2 seasons of Ted Lasso in a day.
And you loved it.
And it was great.
And you know what? I'm sure I'll love Yellowstone. From what I hear, it's fantastic. All right, football. Get caught lying, Aaron Rodgers. Have you ever turned the car around? I did. Weird feeling. Because then now when you're where you're not supposed to be, you feel like, ooh, should I play the lottery? Is like a weird. Is this weird destiny? Like what if? Should I even be here the next couple weeks? I have 2 more thoughts, and then we'll call it a day spot. I know we're excited to have Covino back tomorrow. If you're just joining us, Covino is home, getting adjusted, and tomorrow, the return of Steve Covino.
I'm excited for that.
To Covino and Rich.
So I can go back to not doing anything anymore.
So you could go back to a more chill existence?
Yeah.
Would you rather, here's a good question from Kyle. Would you rather go back and hang out with your 17-year-old self or go to the future and hang out with your 40-year-old self when you were 17?
If I go to my 17-year-old self, can I tell them things to change?
No, you almost just hang with them and just can't really influence them.
No, I'm good.
I don't know. It's a good question, though. It's one of those. Let me take an edible and get back to you. I have 2 more thoughts, Spot. One has to do with something you brought up before we went on the air today. And you said, yo, Rich, have you seen that Chris Pratt quote? Ugh. And I just think this is the most annoying thing on planet Earth. When people think that they care or know better than the actual person. Can you pull up the Chris Pratt quote that's getting people all fired up and in a tizzy? Yeah, you got to have Return of the Mac queued up tomorrow for Covino. He loves that song.
I shall.
That's what's up. Chris Pratt said something beautiful about his wife.
Soon to be canceled Chris Pratt.
This is the most ridiculous thing ever. Because people are insinuating he's insulting his own kid.
If he deleted the post.
And you don't think Chris Pratt loves and cares about his kid more than any idiot that's commenting? Chris Pratt puts up a comment about his beautiful wife, who is what?
She's a Schwarzenegger.
She's Arnold's daughter?
Yes. And Maria Shriver. So she's a Kennedy, technically.
Chris Pratt wrote, guys, for real, look how she's looking at me. I mean, find you somebody that looks at you like that. You know, we met in church. She's given me an amazing life, a gorgeous, healthy daughter. She chews so loudly that sometimes I put in my earbuds to drown it out, but that's love. And he goes on and on to talk about how she does everything. Once in a while, he'll open a pickle jar to help. But the post...
Oh, he's got a Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie card? That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, he said his greatest treasure is her next to his Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie card. A beautiful, fun post about his wife. The part that's getting people fired up is where he said, she's given me an amazing life, a gorgeous, healthy daughter. And they're saying that that's a sneak diss and an insult to his ex-wife, Anna Faris, and their special needs kid. You think Chris Pratt is insulting his own son?
He's not special needs. That's the
He's not. He had people are saying that. He had a heart issue at birth, so he wasn't technically healthy.
Right.
So they're saying that, is that his way of saying Anna Faris gave me a kid that wasn't healthy? How fucking stupid are people? Do you think Chris Pratt doesn't love and adore?
Do people realize that is also his child?
I can't comprehend.
Like, Rich, if, I understand where, like, sometimes the step parent might not, embrace the new child. But if you were the common parent in between 2 different children of 2 different mothers, if you're the common parent, those kids are both yours, and you're going to love them both equally.
If you had a kid If you had a kid with some type of health issue, right? God forbid.
God forbid.
God forbid you have a kid with,
God forbid.
they had to have surgery when they were an infant because there was something, something was a little off. But the kid recovered, and it is what it is, right? Let's say you have a kid and the kid is on the spectrum, and you get remarried and have a kid with someone else, and that kid is born with no issues, no health issues. If you say, "Oh, my wife and I had a healthy baby boy or girl," is that an insult to your ex and your special needs kid, or a kid that had a health issue? It's his child. You don't think Chris Pratt loves his son to death? It's the biggest non-story, crazy, absurd thing I've ever seen. Lynn, you're right. Kim, right arm. Lisa, all the women are chiming in saying, this is insane.
Imagine if you created that post that you thought was like, oh my God, I just did the best thing. I love my wife. She's great. She does everything. We have a family. And you posted that and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get all these great responses. And then all the responses are, what do you mean healthy?
But if you think we're joking, Spot will back me up that the internet is trying to make it seem like Chris Pratt's a piece of shit.
A piece of shit.
And I mean, again, I saw a great meme over the weekend where it said, the greatest trick ever pulled on society is that we believe that the 1% of people that care or get upset about things mean something. That's like the biggest trick that we're all guilty of falling for. The biggest trick is thinking that the few outraged people matter. They've fooled us, Spot. We're all guilty. I don't know the exact meme or quote, but it's something to that effect. Like, the biggest trick ever pulled was the few angry, raging people have convinced us that they matter, and they don't. If 50 people are like, Chris Pratt's a jerk, we're giving those 50 people a lot of fucking credit. Chris Pratt needs to double down on this one. I had a friend on Facebook that said when he read the post from Pratt, how physically sick he got and puked, it was disgusting. What the fuck? How is someone upset about that?
Right. It wasn't it would be one thing if this was a tribute to his daughter, right?
Yeah.
And he posted a post on Instagram where it was like, this is my daughter. She's the greatest. She was born healthy. All that. If he was singling her out and completely ignoring his son, that's one thing. This was a gushy post about his current wife.
And you know what, Spot?
And that was just
anytime someone has a kid, isn't that just usual parental jargon? A healthy baby boy.
Yes.
Healthy baby. Hey, congratulations, you had a baby? Yep, everything's good. Mom's good. Healthy baby boy or healthy baby girl. That's just, to me, non-story. Move on. The fact that I hope he doesn't even address this.
No, he did. He said that he had to acknowledge he was sick over it, and how he got through it, and his mother-in-law Maria Shriver has come out and said that he just needs to ignore the haters, and it's a whole thing.
I mean, you can't be excited for your kid. I'm allergic to that, like Stanley T.
Yeah, he got all religious too about it. He's he was listening to Christian worship music.
Jeez,
that's how he gets through the day. I don't know.
One last story. And then, again, anticipating the big return of Stephen Anthony Covino tomorrow. New York City Marathon was over the weekend. And
you think you ever run a marathon?
It's funny you should say that, Spot. Because I wrote down here in my notes.
Would you ever run a marathon?
Not hating, but can't understand at all why anyone would ever want to do this. I get it. Maybe it's a personal accomplishment. My brother-in-law is into this. I
just worry about my nibbles.
My friend Janine is way into it. But every person that I'm talking about, my brother-in-law, quit drinking, quit doing drugs. And guess what he started doing? Marathons and triathlon things and all this stuff. My friend Janine went on a big weight loss mission. Started doing marathons, lost a ton of weight. I get there's very positive things and people that have addictive personalities or people that love to really dive into things. Our buddy Mercer does all this stuff. I'm just saying, God bless you for doing it. But I know there's people like me that are thinking, I'm all for fitness, I'm all for wellness, but never in a million years would I want to do a marathon. I might do a shorter 5K or something
5K is I think I can manage.
like a warrior dash or a tough mudder or a Spartan race. I did the
This mudder was a mudder.
tough mudder. I've done one of those. They're fun. It's like 6 miles with obstacles, and it could be a fun time. But to run, what is it?
6.2.
26.
And then put a sticker about it in your car. There's nothing. My friend Dana.
I'm not going to shit on you. I
And our
just
good-
to
and
me,
our
I
good
just
friend
can't
Nancy.
imagine. I can't imagine it.
They've done marathons through like Disney because they're big Disney fans. Who went to Disney with? And it's like after a certain point, I feel like your body's on autopilot. Like you think of running as like sprinting or like running bases at softball or all that kind of shit, and it's a different type of running. It's a different type of conditioning. So you're really just like trotting, but you're trotting for 26 miles.
I'm bad at endurance running. I will say that. So that's probably my first reason why
I've started running more, and I got up to like 4 miles, which I was very impressed with. But like the whole time in my mind, I'm like looking down at the distance. I'm like, okay, when's this going to be over? When's this going to be over?
It's like when I would do, one
mile. Okay, a quarter mile. Okay, quarter mile. Okay, a quarter mile. All right, let's do another quarter mile.
When I would do Orange Theory, I'd look forward to the end of the fucking 20-minute run. Hey, Spot, can you look up the Warrior Dash? Because I did that, and that's like a really...
I'm at a good 5.5, a good valet jog.
That's the valet jog, 5.0.
5.5. I do a 5.5.
Look at you.
And then I end with an 8 for a minute. What is it? Warrior Dash?
Warrior Dash. Warrior. I did a Warrior Dash with Sarah and some friends.
Mud run.
And to me,
Ninja.
Spot, the Warrior Dash was perfect as far as how long it was.
It says ninja in it.
You were going through some obstacles and
Are you a ninja?
some muddy terrain, and it was fun.
All right,
But the real question is, what are they running from? I agree, Andrew Hart. What are they running from?
A 5K obstacle race that anyone can conquer.
Is that the Warrior Dash?
Yeah.
So 5K. What is 5K? What does that equal?
That's 3.2 miles.
3.2. All right. So it's 3.2 miles mixed in with obstacles and shit like that, right? Give me throw it up on the screen. What a Warrior Dash is. Spartan race, I believe, is a little harder. Then Tough Mudder is harder than that.
An obstacle list. Goliath. I don't know what this is. Bridge the gap or the trenches. There's all different things. I gotta see. Let me see.
To me,
find a picture of it.
A 5K.
Oh, I found a video.
A 5K is so much fun, especially in obstacle form. If you do a Tough Mudder, that's the toughest one. If you do, like I said, Warrior Dash, Spartan race, any of those, they're fucking great.
This doesn't look fun to me. Look, there's ropes.
No, Spot, this was fun. There's ropes and there's little, you crawl under things, but this was...
Oh, no.
It was fun. I'm telling you, the Warrior Dash...
Ooh, slides.
The Warrior Dash was a lot of fun.
Look, there it was. Mud.
It was fun. What is this one?
This is Warrior Dash. I don't know. Something about a Warrior Dash.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, wait.
Anything more than that is insane.
Sorry.
Too much.
Oh, where are we? There we are. Sorry.
Anyway.
I think maybe I should do it.
Would you
maybe
do
that should
it,
be my
Spot?
next. I mean, you know what? Now that I'm a little bit more fit, maybe I should do it.
I just don't know. Is that really something? Is that something you would really want to do, Spot?
No.
Like I think about that. I'm like, it seems like such a nice thought. Like, oh, I'm gonna run a marathon.
I think if you're like with a group of people and you're doing it together and you're kind of training together and it becomes a community kind of thing. Yes. But like, I would never say to myself, I'm going to train to do a marathon by myself with no one that I know. But it's a huge accomplishment. But I do say why.
Why? What are you trying?
I do worry about my nipples.
What are you trying? I worry about your nipples. I worry about your nipples and my nipples.
I don't want my nipples because your nipples chafe.
I agree. By the way,
that?
5K is easy, Tony. That's why I thought it was fun, because at no point was I like, oh, this is miserable. I was like, oh, this is a little bit of a challenge. I'm not much of a runner, so what, 3 to 4 miles, obstacles, climbing some ropes, doing some tight rope shit, like a warrior dash or a Spartan race, fun. 26 miles? Get out of here. I don't get it.
Don't worry about my nipples.
I don't get it. But then again, so many people get joy from it. So if it makes you feel happy, if it brings you to your happy place, happy. If it makes you happy, and it's if you're goal oriented, and something like a marathon or a half marathon is what makes you feel good about yourself and centers you, then fucking do it. But just know that there's people like me that I can't even understand why you would want to do it. Band-Aids over your nipples, your legs aching. Afterwards, the people putting on their little tinfoil, like little coats and everything, and their bodies are failing. To me, I'm like, fuck it. I mean, I'm with you. Let's all do a war. I would do a Covino and Rich spot. Let's do a Covino and Rich, like warrior dash or Spartan race with people.
I would do that. I think just a simple 5K.
Yeah, but I think when you add in the obstacles, it sort of makes it fun. Otherwise, you're just running like the lame version of a marathon. That's why I think Tough Mudder and Spartan and Warrior, those things are fun.
We'll put in like Covino and Rich type obstacles. Like you have to jump over black ice sleeping on a couch.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Oh, and then like I'll start talking to you. Then I start talking and you have to get out of the conversation.
Yeah, and then Rich will hey, what's going on?
Yeah, you have to find a way out of the conversation.
You have to dodge Rich to
then
get by him.
Spot makes muffins and you have to not eat one.
You have to not eat muffins.
Yeah, now you're talking.
This is great.
And by the way, Spot, goes along with what you were saying. In the next year, Spot was saying that when the world starts opening up more and more and more, we should do Covino and Rich events where that's where we get out and about more, whether it be a golf tournament or a warrior dash, or we do a Covino and Rich day at an amusement park, or do something where we do different events with people.
Can we all agree that people that do these types of things, though, on holidays are the worst type of human? If your family runs a 5K on Christmas morning, I don't want to know you. I don't want you in my life.
Can I tell you,
if on Thanksgiving morning, while you're after you put the turkey in the oven, you're going to do a turkey trot, you can fucking trot right out of my life.
I remember when I lived in New York City, which wasn't long. It was a couple of years. I only lived in New York for 2 years in Manhattan. But I remember when you have friends that take part in these things. By the way, Lynn's saying there's no way people are going to pass your muffin challenge.
No.
Now, if you live in a big city, anytime there's a marathon, you have your friends that do the whole like, oh, do you want to pick a location and you cheer on the runners as they pass?
That's good. That's fun.
And then what happens is
that's fun.
You let's say you pick a spot like, all right, we're gonna go on 2nd Avenue and 80th, and we're gonna wait all day for the 2 seconds our friend passes, high five him and give him encouragement. Yeah. A lot of the runners say knowing that they got to get to their family's check-in point is like a good motivator.
I did that one time, and I was drinking tea on the side, and someone mistook it for water, grabbed it, and threw it on themselves. And ever since then, I couldn't go back. Or Jean-Paul.
What is that? Seinfeld. By the way, I started watching Seinfeld last night. I feel like I've seen every episode, but on Netflix, I had watched, this sounds corny. I had watched a scary movie, a scary show. So I said, before I go to bed, let me watch something light. So I threw on some Seinfeld spot, and I started season 1, episode 1. I mean, there's no better show. There's no better show ever than Seinfeld. You know what makes you feel like a piece of shit? When you go watch your friend run a marathon, and you stumble to the walking point just because you had a rough night the night before, and you're like, you feel like shit. Meanwhile, you realize these people have just run 20 miles, and you're lethargically trying to just get down to the street to say hi to them. Did he wake up late for that run?
Yeah. 8:47.
Ay.
8:47.
Okay, Seinfeld. All right, guys. Want to call it a day, and we'll see you guys mañana with the return of Steve Covino.
I'll give you one more treat. Here's my pre-prom photo.
Oh, your pre-prom photo?
My pre-prom photo.
Who's that?
That's Dana.
Dana.
We went to the prom together because I was all into her, and we were just friends.
Just friends.
Just friends. Look at this. Look at that hand placement.
Do you think?
It's about to cop a titty.
Do you think just friends because you were
I think of
not because
me and
you
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but do you think just friends because you didn't make the move because you were
Absolutely.
shy? Do you think if you made the move, she would have went with it?
Yeah. No, I don't know
Do you
because I
think
was
that was-
probably
do you think that
I was
was your
chubby
big-
and
But
chubby
you, but,
loser.
do you think that was your big fail in the big picture because like you were shy?
Yeah, absolutely. Ruined my life
That sucks. To hear.
and led me to my wife.
See, it all worked out.
But it all made it worth it. It's all about the journey. No, that's not
Yeah.
true. In this case, it would be the destination.
Well, on that note, we'll call it a day. We'll say arrivederci.
Before I start to go deep in reminiscing.
I gotta show everyone one picture before we go. Hold on. I posted all these great.
Can you send it? And I'll
Yeah.
pull it up.
I posted all these pictures the other day, and I was surprised which one everyone loved the most. There were all these crazy photoshops of like merging two people. Like, I'll give you an example. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it's like
I
Van
love
Damme
those.
with Bam Margera's face. Michael Drakeson, it's like Michael Jackson with Drake's face. Jim and M, it's like Eminem with Jim Carrey. The one that we got so many DMs for one of them, and I didn't think it was the one. I thought people might like Owen Filson, which is Owen Wilson with Dr. Phil's face, or maybe Will Ferrell.
That's a good one.
Will Ferrell with Ric Flair's hair. The one that people love the most.
Did you send it to me?
Yeah, I sent it to the group. If it didn't go through, and it did not go through yet, maybe you could just look it up, Spot. The Avril Lavigne, and it's Mr. Bean's face on Avril Lavigne, seemed to be the one that everyone loved the most. I don't know why. I mean, it's hard to say here, but Avril Lavigne. It's her squatting spot, like a catcher position. Avril Lavigne seemed to be the one everyone loved the most. And on that note, guys, we appreciate your support. Covino's back tomorrow. It's been a crazy week. Spot and I trying to piece this together. It was cool to have the Brothers show last week. If you missed that, go catch up. Nicole and Zito co-hosted one day. Spot and I just trying to keep things going until Covino comes back. Yesterday was...
Is this it?
That's the one.
Avril Lavigne.
I leave everyone before Covino's big return tomorrow. Give it up for Avril Lavigne. That'll give you fucking nightmares.
That's great.
Anyway, all right. Well, have a great one. Hopefully you enjoyed your football. Our Fox Sports Radio show is available to download with the iHeartRadio app and foxsportsradio.com. And this week, the return of Covino. We'll have some fun, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.
Bye.